of the presidential villa in Abuja. Please stay with us.
This is a live Channels television event.
Our processes are very important to us. In these glass cases, we actually have very because we believe in that. Each sample here is over 3 decades old. We are about responsibility, but very social responsibility. And so whenever community Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our hosts for this august occasion, the one and only, the inimitable, Eugenia Abu and Richmond Osuji.
Your Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, Excellency, the Senate President, Excellency, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Excellencies, Governors here present, Honorable Ministers here present, with specific mention of the Minister of State Petroleum, Board Chairman, NNPC, Group CEO, NNPC, Head of Government and Extra-Ministerial Departments, Captains of Industries, international organizations and members of the diplomatic corps, my lords, spiritual and temporal. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you to this very exciting event. It is going to be unparalleled, unflappable, and truly an experience to and indeed the greatness of NNPC. Richmond?
Thank you, Eugenie. Welcome to the unveil of NNPC Limited. But before we begin, it's only proper that we celebrate the reason for this event. So please welcome on stage Dari and the Rebirth Choir for a special rendition of a song that has been making a lot of us bob our heads and move our legs, the theme song for this Rebirth event.
So much better, so much stronger. It's the dawn of a new day. So come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go. It's a brand new day. Come on, let's go. It's a brand new day. Come on, let's go. So come on, let's go. Energy for tonight. Tomorrow. Are you ready? Let's go. Energy like the sun, oh. Energy like the sun. I say energy no the dull, oh. Energy no the dull, oh. Energy wakes up us, oh. Energy wakes up us, oh. Energy wakes up. Energy for today. Energy for tomorrow. Yesterday. Oh, energy for tomorrow. So come on, let's go. Energy for today. I don't see NNPC staff, everybody on. Energy for today. Oh. If you know the song, come on, let's go. That side is very loud. I need this side next, okay? Are you ready this side? Let's go. 1, 2. Come on, let's go. Okay, that's not bad. is bad. This side is louder now. Let's go, everybody together now as we go home. Take it to the future. Come on, let's go. So much better, so much stronger. Good morning, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, and welcome to the rebirth. This is the new NNPC. We're about to unveil a new world, a whole new world, I dare say. I'd like to invite my friend just to paint this beautiful picture that is NNPC. Look amazing today. Yeah. I can show you the world, glimmering splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, under on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world with new horizons to do. No one to know or go or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. It's crystal clear, and I'm in a whole new world
with you.
Unbelievable sight, indescribable feeling, so tumbling freewheeling on an endless diamond sky. A whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
A new 10,000
Hold your breath,
things
it
to
gets
see.
better.
I'm like a shooting star. I've come too far. I can't go back to where I used to be.
New horizons to pursue.
I'll take them
Anywhere, it's time to spare.
Let me share this
Whole new world with you.
a whole new world.
Whole new world.
A new fantastic whole view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
Horizons to pursue.
Surprise, I'll take them anywhere. There's time to spare. Anywhere.
There's time to spare.
Let me share this whole new world with you. A whole new world.
Whole new world.
That's where we'll be.
That's where NNPC is taking us.
Still and me.
Just wondrous place for you and me. You and me. Thank you.
This is Nigeria. Energy pulsing through the homes, streets, and ambitions of her people. It is the lifeblood that propels this great nation. Energy. No, not that. Energy. From the very ground we walk on. It has spurred this nation into rapid development and powered the dreams of over 200 million people. Is it possible to imagine a Nigeria without energy? Meet Nigeria in 1956. A vast multicultural British colony with an economy mainly revolving around labor-intensive agriculture and its regions largely underdeveloped. But this fated nation was about to discover something that would change its fortunes and its young destiny forever. Literally striking gold, black gold. In its first year, oil was produced in commercial quantities of 5,000. Shortly after joining the OPEC as its 10th member state, the Nigeria National Oil Corporation, NNOC, was established. As a fully fledged national oil company with the responsibility to oversee operating functions for the fledgling Nigerian oil industry. And on the 1st of April 1977, under Decree 33, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, was established, given its regulatory functions as well as its operating functions. The NNPC train took off with a lot of momentum. The 70s to 80s saw tremendous infrastructural development in Nigeria as the wealth coming from the oil industry spurred notable projects like the setting the pace for the shape of things to come. Over 10 years, the company grew, with the commissioning and construction of the Warri, Kaduna, and Port Harcourt refineries, and also took over the 35,000-barrel Shell in 1988. 1990, at the start of the new decade, the NNPC set out to improve the oil and gas reserve base and oil exploration, which had progressively moved offshore Niger Delta. Oil exploration was further expanded into border areas, including the deep coastal and inland basins of Anambra, Benin, Dahomey, and Benue, where acreages were allocated to multinationals, signing a production sharing agreement, PSC, with NNPC. With a goal to directly touch the lives of more Nigerians, in 1992, OMPADEC, the Oil Mineral Producing Areas Development Commission, was born. The mission is to reinvest oil earnings into host communities and Nigerians at large. Moving forward into the year 2000, President Olusegun Obasanjo initiates reforms for Nigeria's oil and gas industry. This was a major foreshadowing of monumental things to come. NNPC commissioned its first mega station in Ikoyi, Lagos. Following this up with mega stations in all 36 states of the Federation, including 12 floating shows the NNPC's commitment towards energy security. The NNPC's drive for growth and expansion continued to impact and transform the lives of Nigerians, directly and indirectly, promoting education and employing thousands of Nigerians. NNPC empowers communities all over the country. Our network of gas pipelines brings gas to power generation plants and factories across the nation. Transition journey for Africa. Through the deployment of the appropriate technology to decarbonize its operations. The NNPC is accelerating the commercial exploration of our hydrocarbon reserves, especially gas, and lay the foundation to develop other 2020, amidst the uncertainty of the COVID pandemic, the NNPC launched the construction of Ajaokuta, Kaduna, and Kano pipelines to create a guaranteed gas supply network across the country. In the same year, gas supply network across the country. In the same year, consolidating on its commitment to cutting global emissions and fossil energy, the federal government and NNPC National Gas Expansion Program, which involves converting fuel-powered cars and generators from petrol to gas. The program, when fully actualized, will make Nigeria the first choice source for cheaper and cleaner energy, positioning the country as a global gas-enabled industrial nation. In August 2021, for the first time in its 44-year history, the NNPC declared a profit after tax of 287 billion naira for the 2020 financial year. Soaring on the wings of success, in the same month, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Petroleum Industry Bill. This act brought a close to the long fight for reforms in the oil and gas sector, creating an environment more conducive for the growth of the industry in Nigeria. All these bold achievements in the NNPC would not have been possible without the company's constant drive towards innovation and growth, hiring the brightest talents around Nigeria, coupled with its enabling work environment that encourages vision and innovation. With the giant stride and pivotal role the NNPC has played for the past 45 years in the history of Nigeria, it is clear that NNPC has contributed to Nigeria's depth and growth. As a limited liability company to the world, it is positioned to be the leading provider of clean and sustainable energy in the country, taking giant strides to decarbonize Nigeria. NNPC will ensure security of energy supply to the people of Nigeria and to the world, maintaining Nigeria as the reliable energy supplier, while also championing the future of green, safe, and sustainable energy in Africa. NNPC is ready to take on the world.
Energy for today. Energy for tomorrow.
Energy for tomorrow. The story, the history, the trajectory, and the journey. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, did we hear profit after tax?
Over 200 billion naira. First time in over 40 years.
Fantastic. 44, in fact, if I caught that documentary right.
Absolutely correct.
We truly thank you once again for joining us as we enter a new trajectory of history. As we begin the motion for growth and development, the continuation of the work that the NNPC has been doing over the years. NNPC Limited, energy for today, energy for tomorrow. It is a rebirth. Richmond?
Indeed, an unwavering motion, a true rebirth. For 45 years and counting, NNPC weaves into the very fabric of the Nigerian economy, a national oil company that has grown across the hydrocarbon value chain.
Indeed. For those who are watching us around the world live, His Excellency, Mr. President, and many of our distinguished guests have already toured the museum of yesterday. If you have not been, it is highly recommended. Richmond and I have been, and believe me, it is something that is totally out of this world, to see the growth and to see the development.
It is important to always remind ourselves that for every success we've attained as a country and as a company in the oil and gas industry, NNPC has played a leadership role and has guided us right. NNPC has built our reserves to over 37 billion barrels of oil and over 200 trillion cubic feet of proven gas reserves. Can you believe it, Eugenia?
Indeed. NNPC also has the largest network of retail stations across the country and a footprint that touches all our host communities.
Amazing. We're the largest corporate contributor to the Nigerian economy. We have so much to be proud of.
So, speaking about footprints, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to welcome an amazing man to join us up here. A man whose leadership has taken NNPC to new heights and has indeed made some tremendous strides. Please help me welcome the Group CEO of NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari.
Good morning, Mr. President, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is a profound honor and privilege to welcome you to this historic event that heralds a new beginning for the energy industry in our country and also indeed for the world. Mr. President, our journey could not have been possible without the purposeful and determined leadership to act and bring to closure the over 20 years of pursuit for the transformation of the energy sector by you, Mr. President. Mr. President, also, I would like you to kindly permit me to recognize the gracious presence of the distinguished Senate President and distinguished senators present here, and also that of the Right Honorable Speaker and all members of the House of Representatives present here, members of the Federal Executive Council present here, His Excellency, the Chairman of the Governors Forum and other executive governors present here, the Chief of Defense Staff and members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, the Secretary to Government of the Federation, heads of government agencies, members of the diplomatic community and ministers of other nations present here, executives of national and multinational oil companies, chairman and members of the board of directors of the NNPC Limited, distinguished business leaders, our guests from Nigeria and continue to record your exceptional visions and lasting positive impact. For us in the energy sector, Your Excellency, we cherish your informed decision that created NNPC as a corporation in 1977. The courageous reforms you have instituted with the passage of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, the leadership and direction you have given us in creating a viable and commercially driven energy company, and your kind presence today to unveil yet another promise to our nation and to the world. We will continue to be grateful for your legacy, Mr. President, and for consistently transforming the Nigerian petroleum industry at different times over the span of 45 years. All of us in NNPC Limited are profoundly grateful for your kind presence at this great moment in the history of our company. The day, Mr. President, will unveil our dynamic and commercially driven energy company with focus on value creation for all stakeholders while sustainably delivering energy to the world. This indeed is a new day, a new hope, and a new opportunity to upscale our relevance in the global energy community as Africa's largest energy company, endowed with the best human resources one can find anywhere in the industry. NNPC Limited is positioned to lead Africa's gradual transition to new energy by deepening natural gas production to create low-carbon alternatives and positively change the story of energy poverty at home. Your Excellency, Mr. President, we have taken a strategic initiative to achieve our mandate of ensuring energy security for our country by rolling out a comprehensive expansion plan to grow our fuel retail presence from the 547 to over 1,500 outlets within the next 6 months. Our drive for organizational sustainability is hinged on our renewed commitment to partnerships that deliver sustainable value to all with integrity. Our established governance framework, systems, processes, a new culture are designed to support our quest to be the global company of choice. Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my greatest pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to this historic event. We are delivering energy today. We will deliver energy tomorrow. And thank you for honoring our invitation. And thank you, Mr. President.
There is in mind.
Indeed, there's a huge and much awaited opportunity. Without further ado, may we now invite our Chief Petroleum Officers, Chief Timipre Sylva, for his own remarks.
The President of the Federal President of Petroleum, members of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and honorable ministers and members of the Federal Executive Council, and Equatorial Guinea, and representatives the protocols already established. ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted at the auspicious occasion of the presidential unveiling of NNPC Limited to the world. Mr. President, a new dawn was ushered into Nigeria's oil and gas industry that fateful day of 15th August 2021, when we signed the Petroleum Industry Bill into law, making it the PIA 2021. It was a landmark achievement of dashed hopes. From the onset of this administration, Mr. President never concealed his desire to create a more conducive environment for growth of the oil and gas sector and addressing legitimate grievances of communities most impacted by the extractive industry. While the country was waiting for the PIA, Nigeria deserves. We are setting all these woes behind us, and a clear path for survival and growth of our petroleum industry is now before us, with the PIA assuring international and local oil companies of adequate protection for their investment. The nation's petroleum industry is no longer rudderless. The PIA avails us the golden opportunity to strengthen our institutions, improve our regulatory and fiscal frameworks, and attract the much-needed investments. Some of the golden opportunities presented by the reforms are coming at a time when the global energy conversation is moving towards gas as a cleaner fuel. For a country so blessed in gas like ours, we cannot be happier and more excited. Let me therefore congratulate Mr. President, the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, NNPC Limited, and indeed all Nigerians for this remarkable milestone. By this singular development, Mr. President has demonstrated his unshakable commitment of emplacing the entire Nigerian oil and gas industry on the path of growth, profitability, and prosperity. One of the magnanimous provisions of the PIA, which is being unveiled at this important occasion, is the transition of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation into a fully commercial entity, which will be a limited liability company, incorporated under the Companies and Allied Matters Act, to be known as NNPC Limited. The NNPC Limited will operate as a profitable commercial entity and declare dividends to its shareholders. The company will demonstrate higher levels of performance and accountability to continue to win the hearts of its over 200 million shareholders. The unveiling of NNPC Limited today is a new dawn in the quest for the growth and development of the Nigerian oil and gas industry, opening new vintages and partnerships. This is another remarkable day in which this administration, under the able guidance and leadership of President Buhari, is again matching its words with actions, with the swift implementation of the NNPC Limited provision under the PIA. Mr. President, I again salute your unparalleled leadership, steadfastness, and unalloyed support towards ensuring that the country's oil and gas industry is on a sound footing to meeting the energy needs of a fast-changing world. I likewise recognize the laudable contributions of the National Assembly to the successes recorded by this administration in the energy sector. The valuable support of all the stakeholders in the Nigerian petroleum industry is also much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that expectations are high with this unveiling of NNPC Limited. Today, I have no doubt that the leadership of this brand new limited liability company is supercharged to meet the high expectations. Mr. President, sir, we thank you for your continued support for the transformation of the Nigerian oil and gas industry, and specifically for making a commercially viable national oil company, the NNPC Limited, a reality today. Energy for today, energy for tomorrow, energy for everyone. Thank you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Your Excellencies, energy for today, energy for tomorrow. Indeed, the team at the NNPC Limited is supercharged, according to the Minister, and they are at ready to take us to new heights and new levels. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the next person I'm about to introduce is mostly well known to those who love Nigeria. She has traversed the universe selling Nigeria. She is one of our most elegant performers, one of Nigeria's finest songbirds, performer, singer, songwriter, who has performed to packed audiences across the world. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one of Nigeria's finest daughters, finest musicians, finest singers, help me welcome the formidable and elegant Asha.
There is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is surrounding. I wake up in the morning, tell you what I see on my TV screen. I see the blood of an innocent child, and everybody's watching. What did it say to make you so blind to your conscience and your reason? Could it be love for your country, or for the guns you use in killing? So there is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is surrounding. Hey, race I love a man, can I get a chance to talk to you? 'Cause you are fooling with a dead man's corpse, you don't know what you do. Who's responsible for what we teach our children? Is it the internet or the stars on television? Why, oh, why, oh? So little Lucy turned 16. Like the movies she's been seeing. She has a lover in her diary. She can't tell nobody till she makes it the news. But there is fire. Whoa, Lord, and nobody seems to be on the run. Fire on the mountain top, and no one is around. One day the river will overflow, and there'll be nowhere for us to go. And we will run, run, wishing we had put out the fire. Oh, there is fire on the mountain. Hey, Lord, and nobody seems to be on the run. Fire on the mountain, and no one is around. Whoa, fire, fire on the mountain, yeah, nobody, nobody. Fire on the mountain top, and no one is around. Whoa, fire on the mountain, oh, and nobody seems to be on the run. Fire on the mountain, God, oh, there is fire on the mountain top. Oh, Lord, there is fire on the mountain, and no one is around. Thank you. Yeah, living the moment, tomorrow belongs to God. Nothing can break it, nothing can bend me, nothing can pull me down. May love what you hate, we all deserve a chance. La 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 la. I don't go where no love, where my home. Caraibo down so way too long, long way. Lawa lawa lawa, omo lawa mbalawa, omo lawa mbalawa, oasa wasa mbalawa, oyo oyo oyo, oasa wasa mbalawa, oyo oyo oyo. Show me love, I work hard, brother man, I work hard. Just it's you, I live a life that's serious. Every time I cool my temper, somebody wanna reach that's not so serious. Yeah, you know I try to forget, get out of mind. I live a life just free, yeah. I don't know if I need it all, but I know I'ma take it up. Check yourself, you can have it all. Valentine, you can have it all. I don't see different kind of love, so I know if it's real or not. Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't go where no love, where my own. Caraibo down so way too long, long way. Lawa lawa lawa, omo lawa mbalawa, omo lawa mbalawa, omo sawa sawa
Asha and the Cavemen, everything we wanted and more. Oh well, I can hear you, but let me assure you, if you didn't get enough, I promise you, Asha will be back sometime later during the course of this event. What you've just listened to is just the taste of what is to come.
And now, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we know we have been waiting. We know that Richmond has something to say again. Go ahead, Richmond.
Absolutely, Eugenia. You know, you have that intervention about the next most distinguished speaker at this august event. You know this person who is going to speak with us? He was the first Federal Commissioner of Petroleum, a former board chairman of the NNPC between 76 and 78.
Now you're talking, Richmond. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to invite His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, whose historiography in the petroleum industry you heard, you listened to from Richmond. Richmond and I have done the needful research about where this man stands, what he means to the petroleum industry, and just how much this is going to change everything. NNPC Limited.
Indeed, indeed. And he ensured that we're here today by the passage and ascent of the PIB.
Permit me, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to welcome to the podium His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari.
Sit down. Thank you. The President of the Senate, look at me now. Speaker, House of Representatives, the Chairman, Governors Forum, and the other governors present here, members of the National Assembly, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Federal Executive Council members, members of the diplomatic community, chairmen and members of the NNPC board, service chiefs, royal fathers, senior government officials, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by welcoming respected and invited guests from across the world to the historic presidential unveiling of the NNPC Limited. This is a landmark event for the Nigerian oil industry. Our country places high premium in creating the right atmosphere that supports investment and growth to boost our economy and continue to play an important role in sustaining global energy requirements. We are transforming our petroleum industry to strengthen its capacity and market relevance for the present and future global energy priorities. By chance of history, I was privileged to lead the creation of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation on the 1st of July, 1977. 44 years later, I was again privileged to sign the Petroleum Industry Act in 2021. Heralding the long-awaited reform of our petroleum sector. The provision of PIA 2021 have given the Nigerian petroleum industry a new impetus with improved fiscal framework, transparent governance, enhanced regulation, and the creation of a commercially driven and independent national oil company that will operate without relying on government funding and free from institutional regulations such as the Treasury Single Account, Public Procurement and Fiscal Responsibility Acts. It will, of course, conduct itself under the best international business practices in transparency, governance, and commercial viability. Coincidentally, on the 1st of July 2022, I authorized transfer of assets from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation to its successor company, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, and steered the implementation leading to the unveiling of Africa's largest national oil company today. I therefore thank Almighty God for choosing me to consistently play an important role in shaping the destiny of our national oil company from the good to the great. NNPC Limited will operate as a commercial, independent, and viable national oil company at par with its peers around the world to sustainably deliver value to its over 200 million shareholders and the global energy community, while adhering to its fundamental corporate values of integrity, excellence, and sustainability. NNPC Limited is mandated by law to ensure Nigeria's national energy security is guaranteed to support sustainable growth across other sectors of the economy as it delivers energy to the world. It is therefore my singular honor and privilege on this historic day of 19th of July 2022 to unveil the NNPC Limited with focus on becoming a dynamic global energy company of choice to deliver energy for today, for tomorrow, for the day and days after tomorrow. I would now like to thank the leadership and members of the National Assembly for demonstrating uncommon courage and patriotism in the passage of Petroleum Industry Act that culminated in the creation of NNPC Limited. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, honorable ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for coming to witness this historic occasion. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
energy for tomorrow.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to commemorate this landmark event and mark this momentous transition to NNPC Limited, and to perform what is one of the high points of this event, I'd like to welcome right now the chairman of the board of NNPC Limited, the distinguished Senator Marjorie Chuba Okadibo, who would decorate Mr. President with the lapel that bears the new logo and also make a presentation. Distinguished Senator Marjorie Chuba Okadibo, you will be joined by the Honorable Minister of State Petroleum, as well as the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPC Limited, Madam Mele Kyari.
There are some young ladies and boys, young men and women with Nigerian flags to the left. You can see them all. There they are in a performance to show solidarity to the NNPC and to Mr. President and to Nigeria. The young children are here to celebrate. And now, the lapel wearing ceremony as performed by the distinguished Senator Marjorie Chuba Okadibo, who is going to decorate Mr. President with the new logo. Yes, indeed. That new logo now becomes the new commercial entity that the NNPC becomes, NNPC Limited.
It is also indeed, Eugenia, a new era of profitability. A new era of profitability, more transparency, and even more accountability to the Nigerian people. Your Excellencies, I beg your indulgence. If you can please just take a few steps. Your Excellency, sir, just take a few steps down to the floor for a quick group photograph. You will be joined by those on the high table with you. Please, Your Excellencies, if you can join Mr. President, the Minister, the Chairman of the Board, and the GCEO of NNPC Limited for a quick group photograph. Now, after this particular photograph, I would have all NNPC board members to please be on standby. You'll be coming forward to join His Excellency, Mr. President, and members of his table in the second and last photograph. Members of the board of the NNPC, please be on standby. Have we taken that one? Do we have it? Thank you. Now let's welcome to join them all members of the board of the NNPC.
On the president. The president
Please, can you put a light on the face of Mr. President? Do we have this photograph? Do we have it? We have it? Thank you very much. And now, the national anthem. Oh, one moment. Just, okay, one more. This is the last one. Governors. Oh, okay, governors. Your Excellencies, you're welcome, governors.
Join in this photograph.
Yeah.
Dr. Zainab Ahmed.
History has been made. A new NNPC has been birthed. Truly, profitability begins like never before. Indeed, there's been transparency in the NNPC since our current GCEO took the realms of authority, and now we're ready for the national anthem.
Compatriots, Nigeria's call, obey to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. To the Nigerian nation. Congratulations, Mr. President. Congratulations, NNPC. Congratulations, Nigeria. Indeed, it's a new day. It's energy for today and energy for tomorrow. I'd like to crave your indulgence to please allow Mr. President depart. There is so much entertainment here, and I would urge you to please remain on your seats for that entertainment and a return of Asha and other performers in a short while.
Please take your seats as His Excellency Mr. President departs for other state matters. The event will continue.
Please be seated.
That's located right here at the banquet hall. You can see that on your screens. You can take your seats. We have lunch about to be served, and we have entertainment for us all.
It's always wonderful to listen to the Nigerian Guard Brigade Band, and we will be talking about them in a short while. They have done excellently well today. It's beautiful to hear you play, your command of your instruments, your command of the work you're doing. It's a new dawn. It's energy for today and energy for tomorrow. What an exciting moment. What an incredible time to be alive.
As we move into the new era, NNPC Limited will be the fulcrum of growth for our economy and maintain Nigeria as the reliable energy supplier.
And as we mentioned earlier, one of NNPC Limited's key mandates is to engage responsibly in the clean energy transition, alongside our mandate to provide energy security for our country while remaining profitable.
We will be the leader in the energy transition journey for Africa, paving the way towards sustainable growth through the deployment of the appropriate technology to decarbonize our operations.
We will accelerate commercial exploration of our hydrocarbon reserves, especially gas, and our new energy division will lay the foundation to develop other renewable sources of energy.
We will work with our partners, national and international, to continually create, capture, and deliver value to all our stakeholders while remaining the #1 magnet for young people with talent and a developer of a super skilled workforce for our company.
And talking about a super skilled workforce for our company, again, let me salute the Guards Brigade Nigerian Army Band led by Major M.A. Toriola. We salute you. Well done. And it's time now to introduce the next act. Richmond.
Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of energy, vibrance, change, and growth, please welcome on stage our next performance, the NNPC Dance Ensemble. Please kindly take your seats.
Every journey starts with one step. Little steps grow into bigger strides, covering ground that people think is unattainable, unimaginable, creating a dynamic energy that others admire. We thrive, we occupy new terrains. The there is a need to become more. We shed the old for the new. As we grow, we become bolder, bigger, better. With a vision to be the dynamic global energy company of choice, we reliably deliver energy while creating value for all our stakeholders. We are reinvigorated by integrity, excellence, and sustainability. Welcome to our new world.
I'd like to encourage you to please take your seats as we're about to listen to goodwill messages from different personalities. I'd like to congratulate the ensemble, and if your hands are not busy, to please give them a true good round of applause. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we do have a couple of lost items here. If your phone is missing, you better come talk to me. We have found some phones that people have left behind. If your phones are missing, please visit with me. There is still one phone that is with me and a pair of glasses. If you have lost your phone, please come and see me. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a time when we call for goodwill messages. And I know that I have several persons on the list. If we sit down for a little bit, there is lunch, there is more entertainment, and there are goodwill messages. I'd like to please crave your indulgence to be seated so that I can invite the first person who will be delivering the goodwill message. May we have any staff of the new NNPC Limited, any staff, and I don't mean the group CEO now, I mean any staff of the NNPC Limited to please come forward. Thank you very much. Waiting for NNPC staff.
Well, it's now official. No more will it be referred to as the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, but now it is the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. NNPC still, but there's a limited angle to it. Well, you'll be watching Channels Television's live coverage of the presidential unveiling of what has been described as the new NNPC. Quite an elaborate and elegant event, you would say, holding at the State House in the nation's capital, Abuja. Just moments ago, the president officially unveiled the NNPC Limited. And, well, it's been described as Africa's largest oil company with the values of integrity, excellence, and sustainability. Well, after the official unveiling, the president was taken to a makeshift NNPC Limited filling station, just to show the new logo, the new outlook. Oh, yes, it comes with a new logo, by the way. So it's now official, NNPC Limited. And now we're into the phase of Goodwill messages. You can see the guests sharing some conversation, light-hearted conversation. It's been a long time coming, really, this day, from the signing of the PIB into the PIA. It was only natural that this would follow. It's been years and decades in the works, having the NNPC become a profitable company, a commercially independent company that operates outside, the usual bureaucracies, the TSA, public procurement, etc., but operates on international best practices. Those are the words of the president. He says that the NNPC Limited, or you could call it the new NNPC, will operate on international best standards and will be transparent. So it's a new era for the NNPC Limited, and more importantly, for the over 200 million shareholders of the NNPC, you and I, the Nigerians out there. So it's time for some Goodwill messages right there at the State House. So we'll let you listen in to the first Goodwill message.
A round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eugenia, for that very warm welcome. Excellencies here present, standing on existing protocol, let me start by apologizing on behalf of the Honorable Minister, who currently has a meeting with Mr. President and had to leave the room. So here is her goodwill message. I'm reading this on her behalf. It is my singular honor and distinct privilege to give this goodwill message in this epoch-making event of the official unveiling of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Today, we see the grand unveiling of NNPC Limited as a major fulfillment of one of the cardinal objectives of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, preceded by the formal crossover from NNPC as a corporation to Company Limited under the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020, as stipulated in the PIA. Under the new dispensation, NNPC Limited is expected to become a commercially oriented and profit-driven national firm that will be one of the most attractive to different industry players in the energy space. Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget, and National Planning, as an investor on behalf of the government of the Federation, sees this development as an attractive one that will give comfort to our esteemed local and international investors, as the organization will be regulated in line with the provisions of CAMA. As a limited liability company with pursuit of returns on investment for its shareholders, it goes without saying that NNPC Limited is expected to go all out to acquire more and more oil and gas assets with a view to attaining the status of one of the biggest world-class oil firms while employing world-class best practice in the petroleum industry sector in the course of its operations. With this giant stride, there is no doubt that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, through the Petroleum Industry Act and the emergence of NNPC Limited, has achieved a remarkable feat that is clearly phenomenal in the face of daunting economic challenges. This administration cannot allow the NNPC to continue living in the shadow of its past while being unable to meet present expectations of funding the operations of the Federation account, oil production quota, petrol supply and adequacy, or even basic refining capacity. By this move, the government aims at opening the space for private players to be able to venture into the oil and gas industry and make NNPC Limited a global partner of choice. Given the fast evolving nature of the energy sector, we expect that the new management and board of this important national asset will steer the new firm to take maximum advantage of the energy transition through the utilization of our national resource endowment, i.e. our gas resources, to address our energy poverty, and more importantly, to move to a more clean and energy efficient future. This will justify the new slogans of NNPC, Energy for Today and Energy for Tomorrow. Therefore, we are hopeful that in the months and the years to come, the new NNPC will overhaul and transform its way of doing business in order to be the global player it is destined to be in this all-important energy space. And most importantly, NNPC will provide the required return on investment for its shareholders and meet the expectation of stakeholders in the energy space. Before I close, as a fiscal authority and co-investor in the NNPC, there are important things we will be watching in the next few months of the transition. First is the transfer of assets, and especially the implication of the toxic assets that will be left behind in the corporation, and its implication for both the fiscal and the sovereign balance sheet. The second is the issue of inflow of revenue into the Federation account. In my capacity as the chair of the monthly Federation Accounts Allocation Committee, the crossover has important implication to the flow of funds into Federation Accounts Allocation Committee and the attendant cost that is being charged to the distributable pool of funds by the corporation. In this respect, we will work closely with the management of NNPC to navigate this all-important situation. Relatedly, the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning will work closely with the steering committee on the implementation of the PIA, especially the work stream on Federation assets, to ensure that we manage possible fallouts and make the transition as seamless as it could be. Lastly, we will work with the steering committee to determine and calibrate the risk arising from the transition and management of same to minimize the risk overall on the fiscal situation of the federal government and other federating entities. In closing, let me put on record our appreciation of Mr. President, who took this uncommon step to willingly give up his powers and sign the PIA. It is probably unlikely that any other president could have done this. Also, my appreciation and congratulations goes to my colleague, the Honorable Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Sylva, for his commitment and for guiding the Implementation Steering Committee to get us to this day. To the Chair and members of NNPC Limited Board and the entire management, let me say congratulations is in order and the hard work starts right now. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for your attention and wish you all a most fulfilling celebration. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Dr. Aliu Ahmed is the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Finance, representing his principal, the Minister of Finance. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, one more time, kindly take your seat and let us take some more goodwill and serve you truly great entertainment. Thank you.
Gentlemen, please implore you, let's sit where we are. We have a few messages for you and also some very valuable entertainment that I'm very sure you'll like it. Can you please sit down where you are? Please help us settle down so that we can complete this program and also the opportunity to visit our historical exhibition museum at the end of the event, immediately after these short speeches. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please help me sit down. Seems to be working. Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, our Group Chief Executive Officer, Malam Kyari. Thank you, sir. Please, he and the NNPC board have invited us here today, and he's asked us to please take a seat and let's continue with the goodwill messages. Please, thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Chairman OPTS, Mr. Rick Kennedy. Mr. Rick Kennedy, to please go forward and deliver his goodwill message. Can we see a show of hands if it's in the room? Mr. Kennedy? Richmond, do you see him?
Yes, he's making his way there.
Okay.
Right here.
Mr. Kennedy, it's your time now to deliver your goodwill. Chairman OPTS.
Good afternoon. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly observed. On behalf of the Oil Producers Trade Section of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I congratulate the NNPC Limited on this auspicious occasion and its unveiling of the NNPC Limited by President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The OPTS is a subgroup of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We are a private industry group committed to the exploration, development, and production of Nigeria's oil and gas resources in a manner that is sustainable and beneficial to the Nigerian people. Indeed, we represent the interests of 30 oil and gas companies, international and indigenous, who collectively operate approximately 90% of Nigeria's oil and gas industry production in partnership with the NNPC Limited, or local and international leaseholders. The unveiling today of the NNPC Limited is indeed a significant step in the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act. As we approach the one-year anniversary date of enacting the PIA, it is important to acknowledge the tremendous partnership between the regulators, the NNPC Limited, and industry in working to make the PIA a reality. The OPTS remains committed as a trusted partner of the NNPC Limited, the government, and all stakeholders to move the oil and gas industry forward. We believe that the NNPC Limited is strategically positioned to be a key player to support Nigeria's ambition in energy transition. OPTS will continue to demonstrate our commitment to the socio-economic development of Nigeria by building mutually beneficial partnerships and supporting the government policies. I welcome us all to this celebratory lunch, and once again I congratulate the NNPC Limited, and we at the OPTS look forward to sustained industry collaboration and partnership. Thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you. The Oil Producer Trade Section is indeed a body of international oil and gas companies who partner with the NNPC in doing the best of our hydrocarbon resource for our nation. Next up, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to take his own goodwill is the Secretary General of the African Petroleum Producers Organization. Please welcome His Excellency, Dr. Omar Farouk Ibrahim.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, if there are still any here, ministers from APO member countries, chief executives of national oil companies of APO member countries, Madam Chairperson of the NNPC, GMD, others, on behalf of the African Petroleum Producers Organization, APO, I want to commend the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and all the key stakeholders that made today a reality. The journey to today started some 20 years ago. But we all know that it was 2 steps forward and 3 steps backward, until just about 3.5 or so years ago, when the government, the executive, the legislature, and the NNPC took the bold decision that this time NNPC is going to exit from being called a corporation. This couldn't have been achieved without the support of the National Assembly, the guidance, leadership of the President, Minister Sylva, and the Group Managing Director of the NNPC. I recall that 3 years ago this month, when Kyari became the Group Managing Director of the NNPC. He had said that he was going to be the last GMD of the NNPC. And today, he has ceased to be the GMD of NNPC. He is the Group Chief Executive of NNPC Limited. I think it's a great feat, an exemplary feat that other APO member countries would emulate. It's important that this success comes now when the world is moving away from fossil fuels to renewable energies. Nigeria is poised to handle the challenges that energy transition poses to the oil and gas industry on the African continent. The transition from NNPC Corporation to NNPC Limited Liability Company is certainly one big way to address that challenge. And we believe that other APO member countries have something to learn from this experience. I want to particularly congratulate the Group Chief Executive Officer of the new NNPC for making a resolution in July 2019 and seeing to it that it has come to pass. You succeeded with the support of the President and the National Assembly and your ministers. I believe that today you feel that you have fulfilled person. You have achieved what you set out to achieve 3 years ago. And we look forward to a bigger, more efficient, more commercial-oriented Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. On behalf of all of us at the APO, I commend you and we wish you the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. All the goodwill messages are coming in for NNPC Limited. It's time now to welcome the Chairman, Independent Petroleum Producers, and also Chairman, Watersmith Group, Abdulrazak Issa, to the podium on such a momentous day as this. As he makes his way, encourage him, please, with a round of applause if your hands are not too busy. The gentleman has made it to the podium. We hear his goodwill message now to all of us celebrating NNPC Limited.
I'm going to stand on the existing protocols as stated by the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, who is our latest member of the Indigenous Petroleum Producers Group. It is my honor and pleasure on behalf of the Independent Petroleum Producers Group, IPPG, to convey this goodwill message on this auspicious and truly historic occasion of the presidential unveiling of the NNPC Limited. And I must begin by congratulating once again His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, on the unprecedented milestones delivered by his administration to exponentially move the oil and gas sector forward. Notably, the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, which became effective on the 16th of August 2021, after almost 2 decades of industry-wide uncertainties and diminished investor confidence. This landmark legislation has begun the transformation of Nigeria's oil and gas industry and will no doubt serve as a catalyst for the growth of the Nigerian economy. It is against this backdrop that we are all here today to witness another major milestone achieved by the administration in its drive to transformation of our industry. I equally want to felicitate with our Honorable Minister of State for his role in the passage and the implementation of the PIA. Let me also use this opportunity to commend the chairperson and the board of NNPC, Senator Majri Okadibo, and the rest of the board members, and the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, for their proactive role in preparing and managing the transition of NNPC to a limited liability company. The transition of the NNPC into a limited liability company comes with a new set of responsibilities and greater expectations in terms of value delivery. There is no gainsaying that a key success imperative for NNPC Limited will require a paradigm shift across board on its role going forward. This monumental change is expected to reshape and reverberate across the entire industry and beyond. There is no doubt that a commercially focused and profit-driven national oil company is a welcome development for the Nigerian oil and gas industry. With the huge hydrocarbon resource potentials of Nigeria, NNPC Limited is poised to be one of the largest national oil companies in the world, operating at par with leading oil companies and delivering superior returns to its primary shareholders, who are Nigerians. As the NNPC transits to a private entity, accountability and transparency shall continue being the hallmark of its operation. Today, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a new phase for our industry is rapidly emerging due to various global and domestic events. The ongoing industry reforms, divestments by international oil companies, IOCs, and the global energy transition drive. All these require repositioning of our industry to seize opportunities and guard against stress that these events may pose for the nation's energy security. To this end, the emergence of a technical and financially strong national oil company, which is NNPC Limited, is paramount and a sure way to achieve energy availability, affordability, and security for all Nigerians. It is reassuring that NNPC Limited, just as it has always done since its establishment in 1971, will continue to champion energy security for our country in strong collaboration with members of the IPPG. As IPPG, we eagerly look forward to working closely with the partner of choice, and soon enough, Africa's largest capitalized company, as put together by the GCEO of NNPC Limited. On behalf of IPPG, we wish the leadership team of NNPC Limited the very best as they continue to make history and write a new chapter for our industry. IPPG continues to reaffirm its support for NNPC Limited's operation going forward. Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
And thank you.